Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Manga Men podcast, where we will be going over volumes 2 through 4 of Chainsaw Man. We hope you enjoy. So,
the Bat Devil and the Leech Devil fight of volume 2 and the beginning of volume 2. So we leave off from volume 1. The Bat Devil eats Meowie and Power and then runs off. And Denji, yes, not Meowie, and Denji goes after the Bat Devil. So you said that it sucked
right before
just
we started recording.
Before we started rolling.
I think the fight sucked. I think it is one of the weakest fights so far. Because you're just like...
Really,
Go to grab it. But no, like...
Yeah.
It genuinely was kind of just...
You said that it...
bland? I don't know. It was a... meh way to start off volume 2. For like a decent cliffhanger.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen to Power? Oh no, Meowie. And then
what's gonna happen next? Yeah, what's gonna happen next?
Like, I'm gonna rip through this devil. And you're like, oh, okay. That's pretty much the entire fight. Like, it wasn't super exciting. So that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Compared to the other fights we're about to talk about, that one's the weakest fight I've seen so far.
Yeah, but one thing that is very important though, that about the Bat Devil fight is the Leech Devil shows up. Yeah. Which the Leech Devil, oh my gosh, what the heck? Like it was gnarly looking. But, they do that whole thing. But it's very important because Aki shows up. And he does his little...
He makes a little...
he summons the Fox Devil. He makes a little fox hand sign symbol
and
with
he
his
goes,
hand.
Nom. It is one of the funniest ways to summon your partner or whatever they call them. And I think it's kind of funny, but it's so overpowered because it just shreds through. And you're like, dang, Aki's kind of powerful. Like, you haven't seen him fight much, I don't think, aside from him just punching Denji. And for him just to walk into the fight and kill the thing, like in an instant, shows how powerful he is right off the bat.
And I do think this fight, like you said, it's kind of lackluster, but I do think it's an important plot point to get into, and we'll get into it in the other volumes, but that's contracts with
different devils.
Other devils. Yeah, because it's kind of like, and then it makes you think, okay, because afterwards, they're like, oh, what was that? And I think he's like, oh, I made a bargain with the Fox Devil or whatever. And they kind of start talking about it. And then you're thinking, it makes you think back to what happened to Denji. And you're kind of like, wait a second.
How did he come up with this contract?
So Denji...
Like, is it something similar?
Yeah, because Pochita...
Yeah.
Because Pochita is like, oh, this is a contract. Because remember when Denji when he saves Pochita, he says this is a contract, and he didn't really realize what was going on. But he was making a contract. He was making a deal with the devil, I guess you could say. But So that's a very important plot
after
point. And then that goes into
him saving Power and Meowie. And you're like, you get a little bit of Power's backstory. It's just her caring for this cat. It's kind of the only thing that she's ever really cared for. Because she just keeps eating all these other animals, and as soon as she finds Meowie...
I'm going to be honest.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of weak. I'm going to be honest, her backstory.
But I think...
Yeah, I think her backstory is pretty weak.
I think she's one of the best characters, if not the best girl. Which I think
I think her character is really well 100%. Done. We'll talk about it later. Her character was really, really well done, but I think the backstory is kind of weak, but her as a character in the story
Yeah.
is really good. So yeah, it goes into the whole saving power,
Yeah, and I mean,
and they do their thing, and you find out that power moves in with them in their apartment.
yeah, which I think is it adds to the comedy because you're like, this is a really really fun sequence, I guess. You know what I mean? Uh, it's very like
Yeah.
she acts very immature.
It's a goofy sequence.
Yeah, 'cause she's very immature. She's like dingy.
She's kind of like Denji in a way. Yeah, she's
Except
like Denji
she's
in a way.
picky.
So
and
that was
he's
cool.
like willing to do anything for any food if it has nutritional value. And so like she'll like not eat her vegetables and then you'll be like,
Yes,
why are you throwing away
yeah.
that? Like the farmers worked so hard on this. Like you don't need to do this. You're stupid. Like and like it's
Yeah, like him being poor for his entire life gives him a really fun outlook. State of mind now that he has money.
I think one of the funniest parts is like
so I think that's funny. And what I really like
oh yeah, no,
were you gonna
one of the
say?
funniest parts is that like she's like saying like she's like I'm the type who seldom like bathes. Like I barely bathe. I barely flush the toilet, and everyone's like disgusted, and they just keep getting disgusted with her, and they start like screaming at her. And it's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was funny as well. One thing I really liked is it's how Aki is kind of like he's almost like a single parent dealing with like problem children. I really like the dynamic of power moving into the apartment. And then finally after this, Denji gets what he has been literally killing things to get.
The chapter called Squeeze, I believe, is when he gets what he wanted, which is when
Yes.
yeah, pretty much him and Power go into the bathroom and she lets him squeeze her tits. And he's not too satisfied with it.
Yeah, it was pretty. No, I thought it was kind of funny. No, I liked that whole sequence. It's like he saves her, and she's like, "Oh, why did you actually like save me?" And then he just like points at her chest, and then just like does a hand motion, like a squishing hand motion. I thought that was funny. And then she kind of does it to him at one point, and then he kind of understands it. And he finally just gets what he's been dreaming of. And he's just so upset. He was like, that's like nothing. Like he's it's like meeting your hero. How they say like never meet your hero.
But then so he's kind of disappointed.
So I thought that was a funny thing.
And he pretty much starts ranting to is it Makima? How do you say her name? Makima. Yeah. Pretty much starts ranting to Makima.
Yeah, he goes to the office. So he's doing paperwork at the Devil Hunter's office. And then Makima's asking him, like, oh, how you're doing? And he's all sad.
And she's like, oh, that's because you have to do it with someone you actually, like, long for or whatever. And then there's this intimate scene where she, like, starts biting his face. It's a lot. And then he grabs hers. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of...
And then pretty much she tells about this, like, proposition.
Yeah, and then he's all happy.
Like, hey, I'll let you do whatever you want if you defeat or kill the Gun Devil. And he's like, okay, this is going to be easy. Like, I can kill this thing,
Gun Devil.
You know? Like, he's kind of cocky. And then I believe immediately, like, after, it shows Aki's backstory and how the Gun Devil has eradicated his family.
So before we go forward into Aki's backstory and the whole aspect of the Gun Devil, which is very important though to the overarching like story of the entire series, as it seems, I wrote something in my notes, and Makima at this point in the story to me was seeming very villainous.
Yeah, I can see that, but then at the same time,
And
she does. But at the same time, I feel like it's just trying to lead you on to a way where you're like, oh, she's this good guy, but then she kind of seems mysterious and a little like she's willing to do anything to kill these devils.
yeah, I don't think she is now, but at the point of reading this, I was like, I feel like she's gonna like betray Denji later on in the manga. Like I full on thought, yeah, I was like, she's gonna betray him and just throw him away like trash. Like honestly, I feel like, and I still think it's possible that like once they kill the gun devil, that they're just gonna throw him in power in the garbage. I legit think that might be a story arc later on in the manga because there's definitely grounds for that. But moving on, yeah, so Makima talks about the gun devil and says that she'll let Denji do anything he wants if he can kill the gun devil. And it immediately goes into Aki's backstory.
Yeah.
And that's rough, man.
It's pretty much the gun devil just wipes out his entire house.
One thing I want to notice.
Kind of wacky.
Yeah. One thing I do like is how the backstories in the manga, the margins become black. Because you know how the margins are typically white?
That's a nice...
The margins in the backstory is black.
Shows.
So it's a very subtle change in the background, but it shows you that something's different.
And I love the large pictures that they do.
Yes, how like the house getting just obliterated, or like the cities getting obliterated are all done really well.
Right? That's like, I like
it's a 2-page wide thing.
Shots. Yeah,
like
I like how they do stuff like that because it really brings in the art and the what's the word, like the large scale impact that this creature just wreaked havoc on this giant city. Like the death toll is 57,000. Like it's insane. And I think the art in this one shot is just perfect. I think it really shows you like,
oh yeah, no, totally. And like you know, in volume 1, Denji, he's kind of like very uptight and you just kind of don't like him. I mean, you can say that you like him because he's like cool and hard and cold.
Aki or Denji?
Like, he's kind of like the badass or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Aki.
So,
but he's kind of distasteful though because he just kind of seems rude, you know. But the volume 2, it really connects those dots, and you start to understand why he's like that. And it makes you like him.
To warm up to the characters.
It definitely, he grows on you.
There's one scene which I thought was the funniest.
No, he really does. He does start to warm up to him.
The funniest scene I've seen in a while, where they're kind of being disrespectful, and like he's just like, "Hey, like speak respectfully. Like you need to mind your manners." And they're like, "Why would we do that? That doesn't get us anything." And Power's like, "Yeah, like humans are arrogant, whatever." And then Aki just holds out 2 sticks of gums and they're like, "Yes, sir," and they like take it and they're like so like excited. And I think it's awesome.
Like, yeah, because it's like literally giving them candy to make them behave. They're like literally acting like children. There was a lot of good lore building as well in volume 2, just with the whole aspect of like, okay, the pieces of the demon are attracted to other pieces of the demon, or the devil, I should say. They're attracted to other pieces of the devil, and the bigger the piece, the more like sensitive it is to other pieces and all that sort of thing. So the whole reason is that Makima is sending Denji Power and the rest of Division 4 on a mission because they believe that there is a devil who has a piece of the gun devil embedded in it. So they're going out to find this piece because the more pieces they find get them closer to actually finding the gun devil. So that's kind of where the whole thing with Makima leads. and you kind of get to meet a new little entourage of
Yeah.
characters. So you meet Jimeno, the eye patch girl. She's pretty cool, and then you meet some other people. Kobeni, I think, is one of them, and then there's another one, another guy who's there.
Yeah,
I forgot his name. So you kind of have this team of 6 people. So
he's
Aki,
Ari.
Power, and Denji with Himeno and her 2 buddies.
Yeah, he has
Ari?
the cool
Okay.
scar on the cheek.
And they're going into this hotel to... Yeah. So they go to find the gun devil. And it's very, very, a very cool sequence when they're hunting it. When they get to the hotel and they get to the 8th floor, and then like they get stuck in this like time warp or something where they're just stuck on the 8th floor, and if they jump out of a window, it just goes to like the other side of the hallway. And if they go up the stairs, they just appear coming up the stairwell, but it's on the 8th floor still. So they're stuck in this like time loop, this like pocket dimension that's just the 8th floor of this hotel. And they have to hunt this
What's
devil.
funny about this is like they're all stressing about how they're gonna get out and whatever. And Denji's like, I'm gonna go sleep. And he goes and lays down and crashes. Like he has no care whatsoever for like the situation.
Yeah, for like
He's
an hour or whatever.
We have water, like in a bed. Like, why would I care? Like, and that shows his characters. Like,
yeah, we'll eventually get.
I wouldn't say he's lazy. He just
doesn't care.
And it's just like all their efforts are like looking kind of like they're pointless at the moment. So he's just like, I'm just gonna sit out for a little bit.
Yeah, and then there's some a little bit of backstory with Himeno and Aki, and how Himeno meets Aki and everything. And then it cuts back in when is it when Denji wakes up, or it cuts back in eventually, and they find the devil, because at first it's just like a small head and they kill it, but then they don't really kill it. It was just a piece of the devil. And they find out that it's the Eternity Devil, if I believe correctly. And it decides to, instead of just killing them, it offers them a contract. And that's to give him Denji's heart, or he was going to kill all of them. And if they gave him Denji's heart, he would let them all go free. And Kobeni, who's been broken at this point, she kind of goes insane in the infinite 8th floor. So she's like straight up like, okay, yeah, let's kill him.
They also explain that if you make a contract with the devil, it has to be honored if one side is honoring it. So if they were to give them Denji, he would genuinely have to let them go and follow the request.
Yeah, it does it really well in the 4th volume, but there's like some sort of, I guess, like supernatural binding to the contracts that like exists in the devil world, which is really cool.
I think it's really neat.
Going on from this, to be completely honest, I didn't really like the whole what is his name? It was Kobeni and the one
Ari?
other dude.
Or Ari?
Ari.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep forgetting his name. Them going insane. No, I'm saying them going insane just didn't fit well. I feel like that was written kind of like, I understand why they would in that situation, but I feel like it wasn't implemented well.
Because I think they're stressed. They don't know this man Denji. He's a devil, okay, and he's saying, "Hey, like I'm gonna kill all of you, unless you give me this other devil's heart," you know. And so they're starting to panic, and
so you're kind of thinking like
also
to them Denji's kind of like trash anyways.
But
so
then
it's kind of
also
like
Ari and Kobeni are both new people to the government.
Yeah, they're
brand
rookies.
new, so they're of course going to value their life more than Himeno, who's trying to, I guess, diffuse the situation and figure out like a more whatever. But even her, she's like, okay, worst comes to worst, like we give them Denji. And so it's I thought it was neat.
Yeah.
And this leads to Kobeni stabbing Aki on accident because she tries to stab Denji.
Oh yeah, because
Aki saves.
And Aki kind of comes in clutch. But this is we're in volume 3 now at that point.
Which is neat because you also get to see Power start to show off her abilities, which is her being able to use blood and mend it, and her finally being able to realize that she can heal people, which I think is a pretty cool power.
Yeah, because she heals Aki. Yeah, that was a really nice introduction. Yeah. So so we kind of move on, I guess, into the whole like volume 3 part with Kobeni wanting to give the devil Denji's heart. And there's this really super kind of set. I really liked the hotel battle in the beginning of volume 3 with Denji fighting the Eternity Devil. And that was really cool. It's kind of like
he can't use his
and you see it.
Fox.
Yeah, he can't use his fox because he's in a different dimension than the fox is.
I thought it was because the fox abandoned his contract. Yeah, and
was it?
Don't remember why. So he tries to do it.
That's later on, I believe.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Gosh, I see now.
Yeah, but yeah, he can't use his fox in there because they're like in a different dimension. But one thing that it's like Denji's power has always had kind of like a shelf life. Like when he goes chainsaws, he can't really. Yeah, he can't stay like that forever. But you find out that when he consumes blood, it kind of revitalizes him. So he kind of goes into this perpetual thing where he's like fighting the Eternity Devil. And he's like drinking its blood, which is revitalizing him. So he's just like, we can't kill, like, we don't know where it's the devil's heart is, but like, if I just like put it in enough pain and keep drinking its blood, I can just infinitely be cutting it up until it like succumbs. So you just get this really cool like sequence where they've just been stuck in this hotel for days as Denji's been like just trying to slay this guy over and over again.
Pretty much.
And it was pretty epic.
It pretty much makes the devil tell him where the heart is because he's sliced up so much where he can't bear the pain anymore. And I think that shows like...
Yeah, and then he manages to get it.
How Denji, whenever he's doing stuff like that, like he's brutal, but then right afterwards he's just a normal like, hey, who is it? Hey, Himino, I deserve that kiss that you promised since I killed that devil. Like, and he's just so like laid back.
Yeah, and then they're all like
literally torturing this thing for days. And it just shows his character. And then it goes to the drinking chapter, and it reveals something.
No, he's always going to be kind of child. Yeah. No, so I have two things written about the bar scene, and it's ew and helped reader bond with Himeno. That's it. Those are the only two things I wrote. It was pretty gnarly there towards the end, but it did give a lot of background on like Himeno and her as a character and her backstory that let the person who was reading it actually be involved and appreciate her as a character, which I really liked because Himeno, she's such a cool character. I really like her. She was done really well. She's kind of like Denji in a way, but you don't really see it too much. You see her Denji side.
She's a mix.
She's kind of like Denji
and Aki,
and without chainsaws,
because she is pretty much like Aki's kind of mentor partner type thing. There's like a big relationship between those two.
Yeah, you learn that in her backstory. Yeah, they're very close.
No, the picture when they first get to the bar and they're all sitting around having drinks and stuff, that is such a good like 2-page art thing. Like, it is so beautifully done. of all of them just sitting having a good time.
Let me
It's a
find
nice
it.
break in. Like, what I really
Oh,
like about
yeah.
this manga is that there is the whole like, this is awesome, this is like gory, but then they go into like comedy and romance, and it has a good pace to it because while they're fighting, while they're throwing punches and cutting
It's
off
kind of like,
devil's heads,
I think it's kind of like Tokyo
yeah,
Revengers. If you've watched, I haven't read Tokyo Revengers, so I don't know how well it translates in the manga, but I've watched Tokyo Revengers, and it has that same thing where there's a lot of
yeah,
action, but then it goes into more comedic or like
yeah,
romantic parts. And I think that this does that even better than Tokyo Revengers. I think this does it way better than
100%.
Tokyo Revengers. But if you've seen Tokyo Revengers and you understand what we're talking about, it does that. It goes from like these like really brutal action scenes that are done really well, and then it goes over to like these really comedic kind of offshoot stories that are really, really well done. And this is one of them, the bar scene. And that was really, really funny. It was a good scene.
Yeah. But then it also reveals that Dingy's 16. Which,
Yeah, no, all the characters reveal their age, and it was just really weird because he seemed a
yeah,
lot
he
older.
seems like he's
Yeah.
like mid 20s, like maybe early 20s.
No, not mid 20s. That's too old. Yeah, I'd say to me, I always thought that he was like 18 to
Yeah.
21. That's how old
And
I
so
thought he
they're
was.
all
Was
like
18 to
drinking
21.
beer
He ended up being
aside
16,
from
which is
him,
like a bit young.
and they're like, oh yeah, like let's go around and tell each other our ages, like,
Yeah, like I'm Kobeni, I'm 20 years old, and
yeah.
I've done this,
And
and
Dingy's like, I'm
I'm
16,
so and so, and I'm
my
20
hobbies are
this.
eating and sleeping, and then everyone's like, what, you're 16, and start going off, and then what's it called, Himeno's still like,
It
okay, I
was
guess
really
I'll
funny.
kiss you still.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
she's
she's
plastered,
like
so
slurring,
she's
and
piss
then
drunk.
Makima
So she's all like, "Oh,
shows up, and she's like, "Oh,
yeah."
who are
Makima
you
shows
kissing,
up,
Denji?" And he's like,
and then Denji, of course, is all like,
"What
"Oh
am I gonna
no,"
do?"
because he doesn't want her to know.
Both the women are here. Like, there's the one that I like really want to kiss, and there's one that's offering to kiss me, and then they start to kiss, and he's like, "Oh, this is good," and he's like,
And then she's drunk, of
drunk.
course, and then she
throws up in Dingy's mouth in like one of the worst like pictures I've seen.
oh my god, it was so gross. It was so gross.
Like 10 out of 10 art, because you're
It
like,
was as
man,
big.
like the people who made this like took a lot of effort into making this. Yeah, they took a lot of like effort
Yeah, that
into
scene.
doing this. But I feel bad for them having to draw this scene because it's a lot, and I think that's really funny.
Well, Tatsuki Fujimoto wrote and drew it,
Oh,
so
yeah.
he probably didn't care. Considering he's the one who wrote it, he was probably
And
like,
then
"Oh yeah, I'll just draw
The
this."
worst part about it is Power goes, oh no, Dingy's prone to swallowing anything with nutritional value that enters his mouth. And he just swallows
And then
it.
he straight up,
And you're like, no.
no, it was so gross. I was
But-
cringing reading this. And then he swallows
Right
it.
after,
At least he like doesn't like it. At least
Yeah.
he doesn't just swallow it and like, oh wow,
right after, you have a really,
that was
really
gross. And then go on, he like,
wholesome moment between Dingy and Ari, or Ari, where he like stays with him by the toilet, and they have like this kind of like emotional talk, and they talk about like life and stuff, and it's really like, I guess, nice to see that.
oh yeah.
And so,
The side characters, the side characters are done very,
yeah.
very well. You know what I mean? Even though I wouldn't say that they're like as at the forefront or they're as like deep as the main characters, I think they're done pretty well, and just that they're good side characters. Like I really enjoyed seeing Kobeni and Ari and all of them, even though they're not super deep. You know, they were written well for what they are. So then, after they go to the bar, Himeno kind of drags Denji off to her apartment. And they kind of have a very awkward moment where Himeno is trying to seduce my boy Denji.
and Dingy's like, nah.
But my boy Denji is faithful to Makima, even though they're not really dating. And he's like, no.
And
good
she
night.
finds a
just
she
kind of
finds a
falls
Chupa
asleep.
Chups in his pocket, and it was actually Makima's that she gave him the night before. And it was like this. It shows this nice like backstory from like outside the bar where they have this wholesome moment. And I think that
and that was really nice. I really enjoyed
really
seeing that
scene.
with Makima and Denji,
especially like since there's a different level of detail between like the backstory stuff and like the stuff that's going on, because you'll notice like especially the backgrounds of like previous stuff, I guess, will show like there's a lot more like lights, and it focuses a lot more on the character than it does like the setting. And I think that's like, especially with this scene, it's like really pretty.
Yeah.
And, like the lighting is just phenomenal.
And you're talking about the Makima and Denji with the Chupa Chups.
And I think that was extremely solid.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like you only really see like the lights. You don't really see the buildings. And stuff. Yeah, that was really well done. So then it kind of cuts back, after Denji has woken up and Himeno's woken up and she's sober and she's kind of like apologizing for being, like she's been.
Yeah.
And they kind of have this really nice bonding moment where she's like, I'm really into Aki. If you help me, get with Aki, then I'll help you get with Makima.
He's like, bet.
And then he's all like, he's like, oh yeah, great. And she's like, man, I think we're going to be great
like,
friends.
I've never had one of those before. She's like, what?
Yeah, he's like, I've never had a friend. Yeah. And that was very nice of her being like, oh, let's be friends.
So then it shows Makima on the train.
And
they're just kind of vibing, going to like a dinner or something like that.
It's a very good end to the scene with, it's a very good end to the scene with Himeno and Denji. And then it cuts to, they're on a Shinkansen.
They're all vibing and like...
And some dudes are there. And this is honestly, I loved this part.
It was such like interesting...
This is... No. If you are a Star Wars fan, this gave off Order 66 vibes. Like that's like I was just like the Order 66 theme from the movie was like playing in my head as I was reading this point. I was just
so
like, oh
shocking.
My gosh. So Makima and her Makima and this one dude, they just get gunned down on this train.
Jumped.
And get shot, and you're just like
Makima and the dude get shot in the head. And you're like, my reaction to this was like, Makima's dead. Like, no, they just killed her off. This is so sad. Like, why would they do this? Like,
yeah, you thought that she was just dead there. I didn't think she was dead there. Like, I was like, this would be shocking if I didn't think she was.
I knew she was gonna come back.
Still alive, because I
thought she was gonna come back.
But you thought that she was dead somehow, and they were gonna have to bring her back.
I made a contract with this whatever, and it's what saved me, and now I'm gonna be bad or something stupid like that, And so I thought that's what it was gonna be, or she faked her own death or something like that.
Yeah, and then it cuts to Kobeni and Ari, and they're helping a old lady with directions, and then the old lady's like, oh, thanks, and they just turn around and walk away, and then the old lady pulls a gun out and guns Kobeni and Ari down, just like in the street. And that I was kind of like, and this is when I was like, okay, this is some Order 66 energy.
Fighting.
And then it cuts to Power, Denji, Himeno and Aki. And then there's this weird looking dude, like Wolverine looking with sideburns and stuff. And he's all like, oh, and he kind of is being all edgy and talking to him or whatever.
And he starts talking about the Yakuza.
And talking about how his grandpa was a Yakuza guy.
And then it shows the picture, and it's the dude that Denji killed. And you're like...
Yeah, he's like, oh, my grandpa was in the Yakuza, and he pulls out a picture of his grandpa, and it's the Yakuza boss that Denji kills in the first volume. He's like, "Oh, Denji, remember
So
this
he
guy?"
shoots Denji in the head.
And then they pull out guns there, and they start trying. Yeah, he shoots Denji in the head, and they all start getting gunned down, and a fight ensues. Because these are probably like the four most powerful characters, other than Makima. So they get in a wicked battle. The dude, he turns into Denji, but he his swords instead of chainsaw. He's the samurai sword demon or something like that, or the samurai sword devil.
I like the design of him. He's more slick. Like he has like leather jacket,
and then this
looks to be like a military captain hat. Like he just looks different. Like Denji's like this chainsaw looking man. He has like a sword and looks very like badass. It's a good kind of it's like Spider-Man and Venom. You know how Venom is just kind of like black Spider-Man? I think he has more,
like Spider-Man is red and Venom's
black.
Though,
has more character.
I mean, that's rough. Yeah. That's rough. The sword dude, but the sword dude and Denji, it's kind of like that where like they look similar, but they're like still opposites. And I like that design. That was a really good villain design. So they start fighting, and then this girl shows up.
Yeah.
Just this like random girl. She looks maybe like 16, and she's cold, death in her eyes, ready to do some stuff. Aki and Himeno have been wounded. And it goes in.
And they start to have this fight.
What did I write?
And it's like a crazy sword fight.
Yeah,
it's like, it's going pretty well, and the girl shows up and pretty much saves the sword dude, showing that she can, like, I guess, heal him.
Yeah, turns the tide. And, so, Denji's just kind of dead in the corner. Himeno has been shot in the chest, and she's dying. Aki is the only one alive. And I think this is where he tries to use his fox, and his fox won't work. And there's some like reason that you find out in Volume 4 why the fox won't work. And they're trying to figure out what to do, and Himeno
realizes she's dying.
Sacrifices herself to the ghost devil because she has a contract with the ghost devil, so she can use the right arm of the ghost devil. So she changes the contract and says, if I give you my entire body, you let me use your entire body to save us. So she kind of changes the contract, and she gets eaten by the ghost devil, but she's able to kind of overpower the sword and snake dude.
And so pretty much...
But in turn, she just dies.
Consumed. And that's like a really like brutal moment.
Yeah.
Because she gets consumed for nothing. This girl uses her devil and obliterates the thing that she sacrificed herself to do. And you just realize that, like...
Yeah, the ghost. Yeah, just destroys the ghost. Except then, Power pulls Denji's cord, and Denji awakens, and then is able to fight the swords and snake girl away. But Power just bolts. She just runs.
Power who does it, who pulls the cord. It's the ghost hand.
Really?
So that's the only thing that she was able to do, as her like last wish was to save Denji, I guess. Is Himeno using it.
Wow, I thought that it was Power who was pulling
it's the ghost hand. So that was like the last thing. And so then it starts up the battle between Denji and the sword devil, which is how it ends Volume 3.
Oh yeah, it is the ghost.
And I mean, at the end of the volume, it does have a little funny comment.
Yeah,
it's a different change of pace when like a cool character.
Yeah, it's fun after
when like
that.
literally 3 cool characters just died.
No,
like it's so sad.
Himeno was such a good character, and they killed her off so quick.
That's so...
And it was kind of rough. It was kind of rough. I was like, really?
It's really hard.
Because I really liked her.
She was so cool. She's like Aki, but better. I mean, I really like Aki now, but like... No, it's just sad.
No, Aki... No, so that alludes... Yeah, so basically this fight goes into Volume 4, which has the coolest cover that I've seen in the series, in my opinion. It has like Aki just chilling on the front. It's so cool. And then it cuts to Aki has been defeated,
Yeah.
and there's this really cool fight. But it's not really crazy. There's nothing like too unique
It's like
about
a samurai fight.
But it is a really good fight.
Where they're
and it
just
ends
kind of
with,
fighting blade against blade. Like,
yeah.
just going at each other. Like, while Denji's fighting these guys that are pulling guns on him. Like, it's simple, but it's effective. And
yeah, it's a nice touch. And then they overpower Denji and they capture him and they start dragging him to the car. So at that point, I was kind of like, oh, wow, I wonder what it's going to happen. And then it cuts to Kyoto with Makima and what she's doing. Yeah. And she comes out of the train. She's like, oh, I just pretended to be dead. I didn't get hit, which I don't know about that. Well, no, that's true. Now that I think about
looks
it.
Like she got shot in the head a little bit.
She just kind of pretends to be dead. Yeah, it looked like it. So I think that there might be something else at work. But they're kind of asking her, like, okay, well, Makima, we can get you back to Tokyo. And she's like, oh, there's not time. Take me to the highest elevated shrine and bring me, like, prisoners who are on, like, death row or have life sentences or whatever. Yeah. And they bring everyone up there and they blindfold everyone. And everyone was talking about what devil they had contracts with and what they can do with their powers and with the help of the devil or whatever, or the different devils. And you don't, like, this immediately got me thinking, okay, what's Makima's contract? That's the first thing I thought when they started saying that.
She's brutal.
Because, like, she has a wicked sense of smell. So I was like, okay, that has something to do with it. But anyway, so I'm like, what is she going to do? And oh my gosh, that scene was just brutal. So she gets the prisoners to
pretty much say these names.
It was just.
And every time they say these names, the person explodes. Like, just flat out explodes.
But it's at the cost of
prisoner life.
It's at the cost of the life of the person who says the name.
And I thought what was really neat.
Yeah, so like if I said the name, then that person would die, but I'd also die.
What I thought was really neat is she blindfolds.
Yeah, so and it was just so
she
brutal.
blindfolds the other devil hunters so that they don't see her power because she can't trust them.
Yeah, and you don't even see it, I don't think. I think it's done in such a way where like, you don't even really get to see the specifics of it.
But I think it's taking place from like an outsider point of view instead of Makima's, where you can see like...
Mm-hmm. So that you don't actually see who or what she's doing in the specifics. You just get this really general idea. So these people in Tokyo just start being just disintegrated, pulverized into mush, just boom, boom, left, right, center. All the people who are capturing Denji are just... And the snake lady is like, oh, this must be the work of Makima. We got to get out of here.
And so then Kobeni comes in clutch.
They start freaking out.
And fights the leech.
No, so it turns out that, Ari sacrifices himself to save Kobeni.
So sad.
So Kobeni just kind of shows up with a kitchen knife. And she just shows up and is like, oh, you're the people working for the Gun Devil, aren't you? And then she just has this really cool, like, Naruto-esque
runs up the arm of
the snake lady.
Like, snake. And then he goes and, like...
She, like, runs along the snake, like, does this, like, sick flip, cuts the samurai sword guy's arm off.
Grabs the gun midair that he had and shoots him in the back. And it was so sick.
Yeah.
And then she also goes to, like... Denji.
And she, like, uses Denji's head to deflect bullets because his head's made of metal because it's a chainsaw. And then, like, the snake, like, the samurai sword guy and the snake girl, they have to retreat because she just comes in clutch. I really like that. I loved seeing, like, Kobeni just kind of show up. She's probably, like, my favorite side character.
She got way more interesting in those, like, few panels where she's like, okay, well, this dude's dead. He died protecting me. Like, I'm not going to waste this. Because at first she was, like, scared in the last volume. And now she's like, I have nothing left.
No, and then she kind of says...
Do.
Yeah, she's gone insane because all her friends are dead.
She's like
so
raining
just
to Denji as he's dying on the ground.
This is
And
it.
she's like, why do I even care that I tried to stab you? And like, she's like, I'm sorry that I tried to stab you. And then she like contradicts herself. And then she's like, this is funny. You're literally like, whatever. And then she's like, yeah, no, I'm pretty much going to quit this job. Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, except she says the next time I see Himeno, I'm going to tell her I quit. Except Himeno is dead, gone.
Which is sad.
And Kobeni just kind of like disappears. So you don't see her. But I think she might come back.
I think she will.
And I hope she does.
She was too interesting.
There's a chance, and I hope, yeah, she's too interesting. They can't do that and then just have her disappear. So that's my thing. So then, after everyone gets rescued, Power's just like at large. No one really knows what happened to her. Denji's wounded, but he'll get better. Aki's done, and he used his sword
Which it
too.
explains, because we haven't explained this.
With whatever
the
devil...
sword pretty much takes away his life whenever he uses it. And so, I don't know if it already said it, but he's only down to 2 years of living now, at this point. So
yeah, because the sword uses like his years from his life.
So then
and he used all that time to save Denji, which I think really is like shows how Denji's impacted him.
So you brought up earlier, you think Makama gives out villain energy. One of the parts of this volume really shows that.
Yeah.
Especially after like the whole I'm gonna use these prisoners. Then it goes to a part where a guy pretty much resigns after fighting these gun people and is like, hey, I'm gonna give him my resignation. Like, I don't want to be in your squad anymore. Like, I'm done with this. And she's like, oh, I see, whatever. And he's like, yeah, it's either quit or be killed, whatever. And he's like, I've one last question for you. How much of this have you anticipated? She's like, oh, well, I'm not really able to discuss that with civilians. And she walks away because he just resigned. And I thought that was so neat.
Yeah, where she's like, oh, that's not public information, and just kind of leaves, and you're like,
yeah,
dang. One thing that I really liked was the hospital scene, though, with Aki. And he's just kind of sitting there with his little hand in the hospital over and over, just going nom, nom with his little fox hand, and nothing's happening. And you kind of learn that like he got on the bad side of the fox devil because of like the things he was doing. He's really
upset that Himeno died. And it's like really...
which was like probably his closest friend. It was like the closest he had to family.
And then it introduced 2 new characters. Don't really care for them all that much. They're just kind of there to...
Oh, which one?
The 2 new people to do, like, I guess, the face stars, and then I guess there's the people that are technically, working under...
Yeah, I called it intro of...
They have, like, the 2 face stars.
Yeah,
each.
So there's 2 people... Yeah, so there's these 2 people who show up who are working for the Devil Hunters, and then there's... You don't really get a name for him. He just says, call me master. And he is telling Denji and Power that he's going to train them, and you learn that like he can kill them, but like when they drink the blood, they like are perfectly fine. He's such a cool character. So he basically just keeps killing them, and he's brutal.
I think he's brutal, but he's funny.
Brutal.
Like he's drunk bastard.
Oh no, yeah, he's a great character. I really like him.
Teaching them how to like be smart in a fight and how they just can't like rely on brute force, and it really shows like. Denji and Power start to team up and have this like partner bond with one another.
Yeah, they really start to become friends at this point in the story, which I really liked seeing. But yeah, no, they're just getting killed over and over and resurrected over and over, and you get this really cool, like twisted kind of training montage, if you want to call it that, where they're like. like the master, he's just kind of like, okay, well, if you want to, finish your training, you have to kill me. And they're just kind of like, so it's like kill or be killed, but at least they get revived. So you get this cool little thing. You get to learn about Denji and power and their limits and their relationship and how it develops, which is good. And then kind of towards the end of that point, you get to see Aki, and they're talking about him making a pact with a different devil that's stronger because they need him to have a stronger devil contract so that they can go after the gun.
Because he lost the fox.
So they so they go to see the future
Which is
devil.
a funny character.
And the future devil is interesting. He has this like his belly is open.
But just his like how he talks. Like he like starts off kind of like ominous, like you're like, oh no. And then he's like extending his arms in like a fashion pose, and he's like, the future rules. And like he just seems like how I imagine it is he's just like this funny, like over the top, just like comedic, like, yeah, just say the future is awesome, like whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, so like let's make this contract, like if you stick your face in my stomach, I'll see your future and decide if you're worthy of me, or like how much of your body you're willing to sacrifice. And then he's like, yeah, let me live in your eye. And so you're like,
yeah, because he's like, you're gonna die the worst death possible.
Yeah.
Let me live in your eye so that I can see it, and we
he's
got
like,
a deal.
I can show it to you.
And it's just like,
and then he's like, I don't care how I'll die. And he's like, just get in my eye.
Yeah, all I care about is killing the gun.
Which is, I really like him.
Yeah. So he's like, get in my eye.
And then it shows.
No, yeah, Aki definitely gets he gets his badass card pretty quick after Volume 1.
Shows that Denji and Power have gotten strong enough to where the Master Dude's like, hey, we'll only train you like once a week instead of like continuous day after day, because like it's been getting a lot and y'all are starting to like actually show improvement. And then he goes to like a bar with Makima. Mm-hmm. He starts having this like, I guess, heartfelt conversation about how like the people he used to train.
Yeah, where he's talking about how he actually cares about
he was
them.
Like, I figured
and stuff. Like about Power and Denji.
The whole thing about him is his backstory. He's like, I trained all these like devil hunters and killers, and like every time they would die. And he's like, and so I finally think about training these like quote unquote toys because they are devils, and he like doesn't see them, whatever. And he's like, but in the end, I still care equally as much for them. And that's such like a cool moment for this character.
No, and he's only had like maybe like 10 pages of like time. And it really makes you like him. Like it really makes you like him. He's one of the coolest
characters.
And he tells him that they're like final exam or whatever. Oh yeah, no, for sure. And then there's two sequences. One, which is the Makima and the Yakuza meeting, where you, I really like that. You get a lot more, you get a lot more background on the villain and like the gun devil and the people working with them, the snake girl, the sword guy, all that. And then you see how brutal Makima can be when she just like hands out. They're like, oh, well, why should we help you? Like these are Yakuza people or whatever. They're from like a different Yakuza gang and like we don't have anything to do with them. And she's like, oh, well, because all of your relatives and loved ones, I have their eyes in this bag.
Like,
and
eyes?
And
they're all confused. And he's like, I have your brothers, your sisters, your lovers, wives, mothers, like goes on this like long list. And you're like, what? And she plops down this big bag. And they open it. It's just full of eyes.
Full of eyes, full of human eyes. She's like, if you want them back in their heads, you're going to help me. And they're just like, okay. And then it's like Makima, she reeks of villain energy. I think she might just be super brutal, but like, I think she could definitely have a plot twist towards the end and become evil. Although, as I read further, I don't think she
Yeah.
necessarily will.
So what I think is interesting is a guy comes up behind her to hit her after doing that whole eye scene, and she just glares at him, and he just bleeds out, like just instantly, like blood starts pouring out of his eyes and mouth and nose, and like he just dies. And then she's like, she just starts talking about like how like evil and all that stuff. It has this like kind of interesting dialogue thing where she's talking about like how evil is viewed by the state versus like civilians, I guess.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna have the brawl.
But yeah, so moving on, you go to this like the Division 4 assault, where they've caught a wind of a devil who might be connected to the gun devil and the Yakuza and everything. And then you learn that the zombies that the zombie devil created in Volume 1 have kind of reemerged, and it has this really cool setting. And there's this cool like introduction of like all the different devils and fiends that they have working for the Division 4, and they're all doing this really cool montage of like the beginning of this assault where everyone's there except Denji and Power. Where are Denji and Power? That's the one question I had after that chapter.
In the assault?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
In full team, you get the Shark Devil, the Spider Devil.
I like
the
the Angel Devil. She seems really
and
fun.
Aki.
Because she seems very like nice.
Yeah, she seems cool.
And they were like, yeah, but if she touches you, you're dead. And she's like really like nice. And
Yeah,
Aki like hands her a handkerchief, and she's like, "Oh, well, why are you this close to me? Like, if you touch me, I'll shorten your lifespan." And he's like, "Oh, it's safe if I just give it to you through the cloth, right?" Which shows like he's uncertain if the cloth even like carries on her, I guess, curse or whatever.
He like
cares, but at the same time, he's like,
but he just didn't care.
Enough, where he's like, "Oh yeah, my life sentence is already shortened to the next 2 years. What's another year off that?"
Yeah,
like, whatever.
No, see, I think it's more or less that like the future devil tells him like you're gonna die in the worst way possible. Yeah. So I think like the worst way possible wouldn't be like an instantaneous death by touching the angel.
And then he starts just kind of.
So I think he just kind of understands the fact that he's not
kind of
dying.
Using the sword a lot more from now on. Like the gun dude, like pulls out the gun and he like uses the sword and like.
I think the main thing with him using the sword that drew his life down was like the gravity of the use.
Okay, so
of
if he
the
uses
sword.
it like a normal,
like now when he's just killing like one dude or a zombie,
if it's like a big thing,
like I feel like it's not as powerful of like a curse as like when he was fighting like the snake and the sword dude, and like was just draining his life because they were so powerful. So I think it also has to do with like power levels. I guess
100%.
But yeah, you just get this really cool montage where it's like, I bet you when they animate this, it's going to have some really epic, like, action movie music.
I think they're good at.
And they're going to have, like, a cool little montage of everyone fighting. It's going to be sick. But one thing, which is what this ends off on, which makes me so hyped for Volume 5, is when Aki's just walking down this long hallway. And he gets to the end of it, and the snake girl's there, and she's just kind of like, "Oh, Aki, you know, what do you want?" And then you learn that Snake Girl now has a contract with the ghost. She just says, "All right, ghost, kill him," and the ghost shows up, which was Jimeneo's contract. So that's kind of like hits where you're
Here's my theory on this. She says ghost, spit it out. Or not ghost, spit it out. Snake spit it out, which means the snake is the thing that ate the ghost. I believe Jimeneo's still alive and will be saved after this because she's too cool of a character. They would make her have her own volume cover if they were to kill her off in that volume.
Yeah, she does. She literally is on the cover of Volume 3.
I think she's too important. And I think he's going to save Jimeneo through this whole fight with the ghost. Because she gave up herself for the ghost. And even though she like died for the ghost is still like alive, I guess, even though we thought it died because of the snake.
So you think that the ghost can bring
Yeah.
Himeno back?
Especially if Aki has like a talk with it and he's like, she gave herself up for you and you weren't even competent like enough to fight this snake. Like even though she gave like let you go to your full power, you sucked in that fight. And I want that to be like,
Yeah, like you
didn't try hard enough
Yeah,
and she sacrificed
yeah.
herself.
kind of like the ghost didn't fulfill his end of the bargain.
And that's what I think it's going to be, is the contract is going to remain like unfinished and it's going to have to bring her back, which would be awesome if they do that. So I think that would be a neat plot point.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see this whole arc with the first Division 4 assault take place. I think it's going to be a great intro.
Super action
And I guess great content for Volume 5. Yeah, it's going to be really action-packed, really development, like really good story development for Volume 5. And I'm ready for next week when we get to talk about
Volume
volumes,
5 has
5
a
through 7.
sick cover. It's all like rainbow.
Oh, yeah,
and
the
they're,
Volume
like,
5
it's
cover
the
is
Sword
awesome.
Devil and Chainsaw Man fighting, and it's like really tastefully done. So
Yeah,
I
it's cool.
really
I can't wait.
100%. So yeah, I guess that brings us to the conclusion of this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, our conclusion. So overall, I mean, how do you feel about the direction? I enjoyed the direction.
I'm loving it. I think it was such a like. I don't know. Them throwing all these new characters at you and getting like you accustomed to them, and you being like, "Oh yeah, I'm liking these characters," and then kill them off right at the beginning of the next
and then
volume.
them just dying.
It hurts, but you're like, it's cool that this isn't a world of happy endings, and this isn't a world that's taken lightly. And I think even though the main character has pretty much plot armor, you know what I mean, like every other main character, there's still gravity.
Yeah, there is some plot armor. There were times where I was reading where I was kind of like, oh, that's plot armor. But yeah, no.
Gravity.
There still is some sense of uncertainty.
I think even if he has plot armor, he doesn't have enough plot armor to save everyone around him. And I think that's what makes it a more acceptable version of plot armor. Don't you agree with me? Because he wasn't able to save everyone. He got shot in the head and was down for this entire fight. Like,
yeah, and then lost it and was getting like kidnapped until Makima and Kobeni were able to somehow save him. You know, so it's not like the plot armor is done in a sense that it's not like he's this crazy powerful dude. It's more like in the sense that like other people are able to like kind of come in clutch last second and rescue him. Which, yeah, I can see how that's a lot more, I guess, respectable than just like him being super powerful, kind of like Naruto.
So who's your favorite character?
Where you just go into like a 10-episode flashback. So I already said my favorite side character is Kobeni, but she's not my favorite character because she's shallow, just like all the other side characters.
But out of the main crew, Denji's kind of hard to beat.
I think I have a 3-way tie. I'm going to be honest. Denji's hard to beat. Aki is really
especially
good.
now. Like first part, you were like, eh.
But like
and now he's like really solid.
I knew he was going to grow on me. I knew he was going to grow on me. And I knew Power would grow his
Power's
character
my
as
favorite
well.
character.
Makima, though, she's really cool now.
I like
Power's your favorite
Makima
character?
in the
Yeah,
way
she's
where
funny.
you're like...
She's a really funny
she
character.
seems so sweet and like innocent. But then like you see the other side of her that's willing to do anything to like take this thing down, and she's like...
to catch the catch the gun devil. She seems very like just like
no,
there
like,
seems to be
her doing the
lot
prisoner thing to kill the bad guys
of background stuff. Like I think
her doing that.
Oh yeah,
you were
brutal.
like, okay, she just killed all these prisoners and she killed all these bad guys. Whatever. Like it's brutal, but you're like whatever. Her doing the eyes, where she's like, I've taken the eyes of so many innocent people of your loved ones. That was brutal. That was like unnecessary. And that was kind of like, dang, Makima, like you're kind of cold. Like, you're not really the hero here.
No, I like her. I like her just because of how
unless it's a
badass she
bluff.
is. I think.
But I don't think it is.
I think it could be a bluff. It could be, but yeah, it would be hard because I feel like Makima is definitely, if she's willing just to say, okay, get me some prisoners from the local jail and let me just make minced meat out of them in front of this shrine. Like,
it didn't seem like the prisoners got like killed like that. Like they just kind of fell over. I mean, but
the other people,
criminals like that she had exploded. Those were wow. So
yeah, but I think it's one of those three. I think I'm leaning more towards Makima because she's pretty crazy.
She's a fun character.
But Denji, it's just he's such a good main. He's such a good main character. He's such a good main character.
One of my favorite things about this manga is even though Panchita is like dead from like the beginning of the series, he still has the cutest little doodles at the end of the volume of him just kind of like vibing where it says Chainsaw Man.
At the end of the chapter.
No, I think it's funny. When Denji gets...
Yeah, it'll be like, Chainsaw Man, chapter 17, and it's like a little doodle
when
of
Denji
Ponchita
gets cut in half by the sword dude, it shows Ponchita getting cut in half at the bottom. And there's like small things like that correlate between Denji and Ponchita at the bottom of the thing.
The last chapter where they make like a spider Ponchita.
Yeah, and I think it's just really like... I think the artist had some serious fun making this.
Or there's this one where it's Pochita with Himeno's eye patch in the hair.
Yeah, 100%. It's so good.
It's like the spirit of him is kept on through the artwork, like in between chapters, which is really nice to see. You know, because he's such a cool little character. I hope he comes back. I hope they somehow bring him back.
That'd be very neat. Because like, thinking back on it, like that was the reason why I didn't want to read this or like get into it from like whenever I first heard about it like last year.
Because you thought the dog would give like a bad thing?
I thought the main character was always stuck with this like chainsaw head, and now I'm like, oh, it's like a superpower.
Yeah, it's like he changes
it. It is like a dark superhero.
We kind of had a discussion about that earlier.
It is like a dark superhero series.
Yeah, it's definitely a darker superhero. It's really not like happy-go-lucky superhero. It's not like Spider-Man, where Spider-Man's like, I cannot kill anyone. I'm too respectable. It's like,
I'll torture this person until he breaks.
Denji doesn't care as long as he gets jam on
toast, and I get
if he gets like bubble gum. Like, yeah. Yeah, like if a woman hugs me and I get jam on my toast, then I'll do anything. Is basically his mentality. Yeah, but honestly, I'm still loving it. 10/10. I absolutely adore this manga. If you haven't read it, if you haven't picked it up,
you need to
do it.
It's
I mean,
so much.
Sleeping on it isn't going to help. Sleeping on it isn't going to help.
It's worth it. And I mean, I'm excited for the anime, and I think this makes me more excited for it.
The book is hyping it up. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. You see, you didn't believe me when I told you that like reading Attack on Titan makes the anime way better, but like it does. Reading the manga makes the anime way better.
I don't know about that though.
For the most part.
On the one hand, like Attack on Titan's currently airing and is in the final part.
Well,
and it's already kind of like out, you know. Chainsaw Man's not out yet, so this is the closest thing.
We can talk about that later. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that brings us to the
I get what you mean.
But... Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, we went. I don't have any thoughts. I mean, we've gone a little bit over time. I was hoping to try to cut down on time, but we actually made it longer than last episode. But that's okay. I enjoy talking about Chainsaw Man. But other than that, I mean, I think that's all we got, folks. So join us next week for volumes. What will it be? It'll be 5 through 7 for Chainsaw Man, and catch us Monday for volumes. 4 through 6 of the 4 through 6 of the quintessential quintuplets, which will be sometime around Monday. So keep your eye out for that, and